Alright, well, go ahead.
Oh, we've begun?
Was it
What was the question?
when did we first meet? I think it probably was in Bud's, don't you think? And then we went to, but we were just casual friends with a crowd. I mean, nothing sparked in the beginning, right?
Good answer, Barbara.
As a matter of fact,
Yeah,
you dated Ginny first.
that's true.
And are you recording this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I dated Patrick and we went on a double date.
I don't remember that one at all.
I remember that one very well because we compared on how you kissed.
Oh, is that right? Oh, you and Ginny?
Yes!
Oh, isn't that so special?
Because I stayed over her house that night. We double dated.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Boy, what a memory that must have been. I have no idea.
You don't remember that at all?
No.
Because I went with Patrick and Ginny went with you.
What did we go to?
I think it was a Knights of Columbus dance. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I remember.
Any more questions?
But that's not when I dated you, though.
Yes.
The first time I dated you,
I don't think there's enough tape for these answers.
I met Dad at Knights of Columbus dance that they had, and one of the Dubonnet parties.
Yes, we had a year's supply of Dubonnet.
Right. And I was just planning on moving into my own apartment, and I remember speaking to you about that, and that's when you asked me out.
Wasn't that clever of me?
And it never dawned on me until now. Why?
I like Dubonnet.
Yes. And that was like in November, and you asked me out for
January. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
To see the ballet.
That's right. Yeah, no, the man from La Mancha.
Right.
And we went to an Irish pub for
O'Neill's?
dinner. No, the other one himself with somebody's name. Okay, I forget the name. It was an Irish place. Okay.
Is that enough?
Okay, I guess so.
I didn't know how serious he was. I was dating other people. I wasn't just dating him. And that
Oh, John Connie? Or?
I never dated John Carney. I dated everybody else in the group, but John I never dated.
Really?
Really?
Oh. What
Yeah,
about
we
his
went
name?
with the crowd.
What about the banner guy?
I don't even remember his name. Simmons?
John Simmons. Simons.
The Grand Marshal. Yeah,
Grand
well,
Marshal.
I only went with him because I loved his uniform. Whatever he was. Grand Knight.
Grand Knight.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Dad and I were supposed to meet in the Hamptons one weekend
At the post house, which is still there.
Right.
After all these years.
Right. So Aunt Judy and I got out there ahead of time, and we were at the post house with a lot of guys and gals and talking and whatever. And Uncle Gary and Dad came later, and you didn't come over right away. And then Gary came over, and I said, "Where's Bernie?" He says, "Oh, he's over there." I said, "Why doesn't he come over?" He says, "I think he's mad." So I went over to Dad and I said, "Hi, man, what's the matter with you?" And you said, "Nothing."
Oh.
And walked out and went to the parking lot and stayed there.
But I stayed in somebody's car. Whose car?
Gary's car, what's her name's car? Gary's
the-
girlfriend, what's her name? The one that they were
We went
engaged.
home in that
Diane.
car, Diane. But we went home in that car, didn't we? Or-
I don't remember what happened there. Oh, we didn't speak for the rest of the weekend, because I went out there to you
At the car.
at the car.
Car site.
Right, to find out what the problem was, and you were giving me a hard time. You would not open up, and you were very cold, and all that
To
kind
this
of
day, I
stuff.
haven't explained it.
Yes, you did. You see how you don't remember? Because after Sunday, when we came home, I wrote you a letter, and I said,
That's right. I still have that letter.
"You still have that letter?"
I just said that. I didn't know.
And then what did you do?
I wrote your letter back.
Yeah, and what else?
Sent you flowers?
Isn't this
Porch
good?
ice cream?
No, then you said, can we meet and talk about it?
Okay.
And that's when we met and talked about it. And
What
that's
year was
when-
that?
That was, we got
The summer of
engaged,
67.
67. Right.
Well, what was it about?
What was what about?
Why was Dad bad?
Oh, I had to think, because he thought that we were already going together, which he had never announced to me.
And that you were being frivolous?
And that I was flirting, and I just was very, flirty.
Hmm.
And
Genetic defect I think her daughter has right now. At parties from what I hear.
oh, flirting? I don't know where she gets that from.
Or just talking to anybody
But
available.
at least she likes to get things clear. You know, you gotta know where you stand, and you guys don't talk. You know, and then we kind of had an understanding, kind of. Right? And
Yeah.
I said, oh, that's why. Yeah, we felt that way. And that's when we started to have more of a serious relationship. And then it was right after that we got engaged. Was.
Yes.
We got engaged in August, so I guess that was July. We didn't wait too long.
When in August?
August 21st.
19.
Okay.
What fond memories we have.
I always said it was a different. We have
13th then, we used to say 13th.
13th or the 19th.
Whatever.
Okay, that's when we really decided to get married. That he says he doesn't remember.
Oh. No, he asked you to tell me when he proposed to you. There was a question to you.
Okay, it
Do you
was.
remember where?
Of course, it was at the Rock and Rye,
Right.
and I think Dad said,
What are you doing tomorrow?
"What are you doing the rest of your life?"
Have another bottle of wine.
Right. You got any more of this stuff? I feel like talking here. No, we had a couple of glasses of wine, and then we started talking about marriage in a general way.
And lo and behold, the next day we were engaged.
Before you know it. No, you had said to me that you had asked me to marry you several times, and I never knew that. And I said, how did I never know that? Because you never came directly out and asked me.
Oh. And?
And I don't remember you asking me again.
But you said, what the hell?
I said, I think he did. Or do you remember that?
No.
Tell me what you remember.
So you don't remember the actual question and answer,
No.
period.
I remember the next day when I called.
You don't remember? Are you serious?
And you said, we're engaged. I said, really?
What? Are you serious? Chris, get this. You think I've been sitting here for 23 years?
Yes.
This is what you remember?
Roberts Church in Bayside. You were late. Somewhat.
All right. Okay.
Our cousin Nancy married us.
So therefore our wedding is not
Null and
valid.
void because he's no longer a priest, but that's the way things go.
So we've been living in sin for all these years.
The reception was at the Villa Bianca out in Flushing somewhere, right? And
Okay.
it was an afternoon reception. We had mass at 11. Okay.
Hey.
And the reception was right after that, at Villa Bianca, till about 5 or 6 o'clock. And then we went out to Idlewild Airport because we were going on a honeymoon the very next morning.
Kennedy.
Kennedy was called Idlewild at the time, no?
No, it wasn't.
Kennedy? Okay. Okay.
Nah.
Okay. That's true. He died before that, right? Yeah. And we had a party out there because all of our friends came out to the, I guess, one of the bars there. And I remember good old Gary, my best man, drove the car out there and left me with my tuxedo on. So that I walked into the hotel there looking like a
Like we
head
weren't
waiter.
married.
Like a head waiter from
Me with
from
my
a bad restaurant. They asked me for my room. They said, looked at, oh, I wonder why you're dressed like that, you know.
And
So-
then you signed the register.
Bernard Harrington. and friend. Didn't upset the hotel at all.
Oh, he
No.
laughed. He made
Did
you
you
put
really do
his
that?
trim. Yeah, he really
Yeah.
did. He forgot to put me. I'm standing there, right next to him, and
Well, he asked me to register. I figured we each had to register separately. I thought they wanted our names for posterity, you know, to keep in their memory book.
we were trying very hard not to look married. We wanted to
Standing
look
there with a tuxedo on
and I have my wedding dress over my arm.
in the lobby of a main hotel, you know, like the head waiter of a restaurant. And then the next morning we got up to go to Acapulco,
Okay.
and you said, could you postpone the trip? I don't feel that great this morning. Can we go tomorrow or some
Can
other
we go
time?
later?
Yeah.
We take a shuttle. Right.
That's very difficult to do. You can't really rearrange
I asked
trips to Acapulco in
Dad
the
if we
middle
could
of
just
January.
take a later flight,
Right.
a couple of hours later.
Yes.
That's all. Because I had an upset stomach.
How
and
about
I
another
was
century,
really
maybe?
too well. And he
Okay.
was saying, yeah.
Is that enough?
Okay.
Then we called Grandma. Next morning.
Many a tear has fallen. It's all again. Life is a wonderful game. We play and play. Words, you have words within. Happy and sad and sweet as words. Oh yeah. Once in a while he won't come. It's all again. Soon he'll be there at your side with a sweet bouquet.
After our wedding night,
Right.
I called Grandma, and she answered the phone early in the morning. I said, "Oh, you never told me it would be like this."
And she said she's going to come
And she
against
said,
you.
"Oh, what's the matter? Is everything okay? What's the matter?" And then I started to laugh, and she said, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?" And I said, "Oh, it's wonderful." So we had a good time. You can ask them more questions.
You're trying to remember where the honeymoon was,
No,
right?
I remember. It's just,
Uh,
it's something you don't want on camera.
that's it.
Certain parts of it.
Which?
I'll tell you later.
Oh, okay.
Because I know you don't remember anything. Let's see, what do you remember? Okay. I didn't have diarrhea.
Either did I.
Oh. The guy in the next room
Yes,
had a
they
diarrhea.
had it downstairs.
We had 2 earthquakes.
It wasn't two, it was just one biggie.
No, there were 2 tremors. One was in the hotel when we were having dinner, and you were on the John.
I was sitting on the John, and when I got off and went out to wash my hands, the attendant was standing there, and I said, "What was that?" And he said, well, I said that, shaking. Oh, boom, boom? I said, yeah. He says, don't you have that in the United States? And I said, no, not when you're sitting on a toilet and the whole thing shakes. I said, oh, we have that all here all the time. And then I went upstairs and I found out about half the people had left the hotel.
And I was still sitting at the table, like
Yeah.
holding on to, what was that?
This was a hotel that was built right into the ocean in Acapulco, and it had a tremor. So everybody was a little afraid.
Yes, and I thought Dad knows
Panicky?
everything, so I said, what was that? And he said, oh, don't worry, they said this is a new building and it was just settling. Then I saw all these people making a beeline for the door.
We went to the lobby, it looked
Oh,
like a
wow.
panic after an earthquake.
Yeah, all the cabs were lined up.
Yeah,
And so we
So
went
back to our place, which was on the side of the mountain in Acapulco,
Right.
and decided to go to the restaurant, which overlooked Acapulco. And it's on like a ledge. And as you were walking onto the ledge, we got another little boom boom.
These terraces.
Yes. And the guy there explained.
Well, another little boom boom. I was up on the bed. Couldn't find any place to hide. Ran outside, ran there, ran and jumped up on the bed. And then it stopped and then he said, oh, well, I guess we better go see what that is. And then we ran out in the street, remember?
Street?
In the street there, and towards going down where the restaurant was, and then the guy was walking up, and he said, "Oh, not to worry. We always get a couple of these in January and February,
Right.
and in August." And so
And the other time we're down there too.
those were the big ones. So that was fun. Then we had our little. And what room were we in?
Dos Onte,
Okay.
211.
Right. Okay. And what was the name of the restaurant that we used to eat in all the time? That was a part of the hotel. Bella Vista?
Well, that was the thing on the ledge, wasn't it? Bella Vista.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful view.
Right. Bella Vista.
Isn't that clever of me to think of that one out?
Yes, yes.
That's 2 years of Spanish at Manhattan College.
Right. And what else do you remember? They were filming Tarzan down there. We had a good time, and Dad promised me that he was going to take me back to Acapulco every year.
I
And he
thought I said every
changed
10 years. Yeah?
Then he changed it to every 10 years because we wanted to be realistic.
Right.
So
Make it
therefore,
special.
we have not been there since our honeymoon.
But the place has changed a lot.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't
Yeah,
want to go
no.
there now. No, we wouldn't.
We first lived in Jackson Heights. We lived in an apartment that we got from another couple that we knew from that area.
Right.
You and Mary Devaney
Right,
Right.
the Devaney's, the love couple.
of Jackson Heights.
Right.
And we stayed there about 2 years
Yeah.
after we were married.
Right.
We had a lot of parties on Friday nights
Every week.
because a lot of our friends were still single,
Right.
and the local pub was about 2 blocks away
On the corner.
on the corner, so that they would often drop over after having a few there and then spend until
The rest of the night with
mornings
us.
at our place.
Right. So we were very tired.
Right.
We also used to entertain a lot. We would have people over for dinner. And so we were very busy. And then I had my son after a year. And we kind of slowed down a little bit then. But our
Right.
friends didn't. They kept coming over.
Didn't bother them any.
I'd just go in the bedroom and hide with the baby. And they would sleep over. Gary
Yeah,
or
That's
Patrick
true, yeah.
or
Gary
I.
did sleep over on the pullout.
Many times, yeah. I think. And so we figured we better move.
Because we couldn't continue the pace.
Right. And so we moved to Glen Rock.
To where we are now, to this very room.
And how did we move here? Because friends of ours lived in Ridgewood, the
Right.
Stevensons.
Stevensons.
And we came to a party out at their house. And they said, why don't you look around here? And the very next day we came out and we looked at some houses. Did we come out, was it the very next day we picked this house? Or was it boy, we really weren't shoppers, were we?
It was the first visit, I think.
Was it the first visit?
First or second.
Maybe the second,
Yeah.
whatever. And when we took the baby with us, and the baby threw up in the car. It was lots of fun. Guess it was a long trip for the baby.
Well, the baby didn't want to move. Who knows?
Right. But Christopher, our first child, loved it. The minute we walked in the house, he said, "Da, da, 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 I want this house."
Yeah. Or was that I'm gonna do-da on the floor?
And we both got a feel for the house when we came here. And we saw other houses that were nicer, but we liked this one. It had said something to us.
Wanna have free and have the world so easily. Know will be a sight to see.
When I had you, that was the greatest day. That was really, that was like Christmas morning when you were born.
Did it feel that way, physically?
No. I said afterwards.
Oh,
Afterwards.
well, you said that day.
Well, that day he was born. That was so terrible. That's the greatest feeling you'll never have. You guys, unfortunately. But that was really great.
I was prepared to not have it.
Yeah.
When the doctor said that you were dilated 5 fingers and the baby would be born about 4 o'clock and I could go home.
Yeah, wasn't that nice?
Yes.
Yeah, I go into the hospital, they put all my clothes in a bag and they give them to Dad and he leaves. I said, what is this? This is like being in a camp somewhere that I'm never going to return. Duck how? And you left.
Yes.
And I had to go through labor by myself.
At that time, they did not have men in the labor rooms with their wives. It wasn't that I had nothing better to do for the afternoon.
He told you to go home and you did.
Yes. What can I do, sir?
How could you leave me there? That's what I cannot understand.
Where else were you going to go?
At least worry. You know,
I was
stay in
worried.
the hospital and
On
worry.
the way over to Mother's, I stopped in church. Then I went over to Mother's and had something to eat. And I came back
Something
in.
to eat. Something to eat. How could you eat?
Somebody had to.
It seemed like a long labor because there was nobody around. And I was going into deep pain and there was no one around. It was lunchtime, so I climbed out of my bed, which I wasn't supposed to do because I thought I was going to have the baby right there. And the nurse came running back and she said, "What are you doing?" And it got me back into bed, and then you came shortly after that.
Like 3:58, shortly. That's
Well,
3
that
hours
was,
later.
well, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, well, that's true.
That's true.
That was long. But when you were born, oh, wow, I couldn't shut up. The nurses kept saying, "Oh, he's so adorable. And when he grows up, I'm going to marry him. Is that okay?" And I said,
And she took names.
yeah. And they had given me Demerol or something, and so I could not shut up. I just kept talking and
It's
talking.
had a lasting effect.
And then Dad sent me flowers and said, a whole bunch of yellow roses, and said, "Now you have 2 boys to play with." Is that sweet? And it's
that's
been fun ever since.
And that's how I found out that you don't like yellow roses.
roses. My mother likes yellow roses. I like red roses.
She's been getting yellow roses ever since.
Right. It's okay. It's still pretty. Now, what do you remember?
I remember all that.
Anything you'd like to fill in? And sitting in the car and you going over every single pothole you could find. Oh.
Through Jackson Heights, the streets of Queens, which are not my
Yes,
problem.
right, and I said, "Can't you find a smooth road?" With everything he went over, boy. I remember that.
We still have the watch that we timed the labor pains with. Isn't that a special memory?
And we still have the record of it. We kept the record of it.
You still have that?
We still have that
Isn't
yellow
that something
piece
to
of
really
paper,
give to
right?
somebody?
Poor Rachel. Now, what does she remember? I remember hers.
Yes.
nice and easy.
Yeah, but you woke up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning.
My water broke.
And your water broke.
Right.
And you didn't want to go to the hospital. Right
No,
away.
because I didn't have any pains.
And you figured the doctor wouldn't be there.
Right. And he
So
wasn't.
You didn't want to go there before 8 or 9 o'clock.
Right. Right.
So we got there about 9 o'clock, and no doctor showed up and rolled the roll, did he?
No, he said he was doing his office hours now.
Right.
I'd have to wait.
Right.
And so I had
We
to
waited
wait.
through lunch.
Yeah, I couldn't
waited
eat
through
lunch.
dinner.
And you ate my lunch and you ate my dinner because I wasn't allowed to eat.
And then we tried to find out where he was, and he came over about 9 o'clock, 8 or 9 o'clock.
After he had his coffee.
Yes, after he had his dinner and coffee.
Right.
He wasn't interrupting life for your life.
Right.
Uh,
And then he induced labor because I wasn't.
I spent the entire day in the labor room that time. They allowed us
That's
to
right.
do that thing.
But I was only having sporadic labor pains.
I know.
wasn't really.
But they also, at that time, did not let you go into the living room. So here
Right.
I spent from 8:30 in the morning until about 10 o'clock at night in the labor room. And they wouldn't let me go into the delivery.
Oh, that is true.
That's
I
true.
didn't like that.
Right.
That was, but you and the doctor had a wonderful time.
He had bad jokes.
Oh,
Very
it
bad
was
jokes.
terrible. Yeah. While I was in pain. And
It passed time for him.
yeah. But God got even.
What
The
was
man
that?
is now dead.
Through natural causes. I mean, it was
Right.
something.
Sure. I can tell Rachel's birth was very funny. I enjoyed that one because Mom and Grandma and Dad were more upset than I was that morning. I guess because I didn't feel like going to the hospital, and Grandma was running around because she was going to be here to watch you while I was in the hospital, and Dad was running up the stairs, down the stairs, didn't know where you were going. Get a towel, run down here, run there. Do you remember that? Kind of?
No,
Yeah. And then,
no, I was annoyed because he didn't want to go to the hospital right away.
right.
It's like, I'm not going to the hospital because the doctor won't be there, and I don't want 5 doctors examining me before he gets there.
Right.
Somewhere go late.
Right. Yeah, so I went like that, okay. And, I watched the ladies come in, have their babies, and leave. And I kept sitting there and waiting and waiting. I'm saying, Rachel, come on. She took her time. But then they had a monitor on because it was taking so long. And they were monitoring the baby's heartbeat. And the doctor said, oh, this is definitely going to be a boy. And a very strong heartbeat. And he says, and I never make predictions. This is going to be a boy. And Dad says, no, it's going to be a girl. He always said it was going to be a girl. And then when she was born, he said, doctor says, holy mackerel, it's a girl. And the nurse said, Mr. Harrington said it was going to be a girl. And he said, can I bring the baby out to show him?
Yeah.
And that's when
Yeah, she was a very nice girl.
Yeah, yeah. And you got to see her really before I did almost. I could only see her in the mirror, you know, at the time. I couldn't really get a good look at her. But, yeah, we predicted that. But we didn't know what to call her baby girl. We were going to call her Mary. We were going to call her
Harriet.
Harriet.
That was.
But,
It was Michelle.
Wanda?
No. It was Colette, wasn't it?
no, it was,
It was a French name.
yes. It began with a K. Kendra. That was one.
But else is French. It was like Nicolette or something like that.
Nicole.
Nicole.
Right.
Nicole was
That was another one. But we finally decided we were going to call her Mary Rachel. And then everybody said, ooh, what a plain name, Mary. So we switched it around and said Rachel.
because I don't like Mary.
Mary was my grandmother's name. I liked it.
But her real name is Rachel Marie.
Marie, because that sounds blows
Yeah.
it. She belonged
It-
Rachel
it's-
Mary to me. And she was so sweet, and I'd play with her, and the nurse said to me, I always love to watch you with your baby, she said, because you have such a good time together. I don't know with your baby. She was so cute. And we still have a good time together when we go shopping. When we're screaming at each other.
Feelings.
Can you get him talking about how did you feel?
About
getting married. Did you really want to get married? Were you nervous? Or?
Very nervous, very frightened.
Really?
Had no clue why I was dressed in that stupid.
Didn't know how you got there, huh?
For some reason, tails just are not what I like. I didn't realize that until I had them on.
What has that got to do with your feelings?
That was part of the feelings. I mean, we felt uncomfortable, unnatural, not right. The tails.
Are you trying to tell me something?
No.
Is there a hidden message here somewhere? Oh, okay.
No, just that I think the marriage ceremony can be an uncomfortable thing. Because you're not prepared for that kind of ceremony.
Well, how did you think I felt in that outfit?
Well, you're asking my feelings.
Oh,
Right?
okay. Right. Well, how would you like to have gotten married then? How would you have felt comfortable?
I guess not without the long tails. That was just one of my little memories. The rest of the ceremony was very simple. I didn't like the guy at the band who introduced us like we were part of some circus act.
I think we're on a different wavelength here. You're talking about the wedding. I guess I'm talking about marriage. Okay.
Oh, in general?
Yes. How did you feel about getting married? Okay.
Oh, I like that.
You did, didn't you? Okay, that's good. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad we had this little talk.
It's finally getting it settled.
Yes, this is nice.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that I haven't been going in the wrong direction all these years. That's all. I didn't want
Just
to
some lingering doubts?
assume anything.
No.
Oh, okay. After all the money we've spent and everything. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
So we gave it to him?
Then,
These are candid moments together that he's capturing now.
I don't